Who you trying to get crazy with? I said, don't you know I'm
During interphase 1 of meiosis, the cell is performing normal functions. DNA in the nucleus is in the chromatin form and is not visible from a light microscope. The most important event in interphase 1 is that the DNA replicates or copies itself. This happens when the DNA is still invisible, but you can see the DNA being copied here as chromosome, and each pair becomes visible, and then the other identical chromosome becomes visible. Identical chromosomes are indicated by having the same color t-shirt and same color hats and gloves. Look, they are now.
Next, in prophase 1 of meiosis, the DNA becomes visible as chromosomes. Since we each call some DNA from our moms and some from our dads, we have what are called homologous chromosomes. This means that they are the same chromosome number, like number 3 or number 19. But one is from our moms and one is from our dads. You can see this here, the actors in the same color shirts. There should be 4, represented in homologous pairs. The colored hats and the colored gloves that they are wearing determines whether they're from mom or dad. The reason there are 2 identical chromatids, remember, is just because the DNA copied in interphase 1. So in prophase 1, the homologous pairs get close to each other and they swap some DNA, as shown by trading gloves. This is very important because this means that none of the homologous pairs are identical anymore. At the very end of prophase 1, the nucleus membrane dissolves. Centrioles also move to opposite ends of the cell in prophase 1, and they start to make spindle fibers, which act as little puppet strings.
In metaphase 1, homologous pairs are directed to the middle of the cell by the spindle fibers and centrioles. Once they are in the middle, one pair lines up on one side of the cell and the other pair lines up on the other. It doesn't matter which side the mom chromosome or the dad chromosome lines up on. This is the end of metaphase 1. Oh, now this is a good one. In anaphase 1, the homologous pairs are pulled apart from each other by the centrioles and spindle fibers, and they move to the opposite ends of the cell. Notice the chromosomes themselves aren't pulled apart into individual chromatids, but rather the homologous pairs of chromosomes are pulled apart. That is why you see 2 of each color shirt on each side of the cell. Also notice that since each actor traded some DNA, look at their gloves, the identical chromosomes that started aren't identical anymore. Phew! Once that stage is over, telophase 1 happens. During this phase, the cell membrane pinches and to form 2 new cell membranes. Also during this time, the nuclear membrane forms around the chromosomes in each cell, and the chromosomes become invisible again. Telophase 1 leads into a brief interphase 2, but the chromosomes do not copy. I must say it again. In interphase 2, the chromosomes do not copy. Okay, so where were we? So now we have 2 cells instead of 1, except they aren't identical because the chromosomes swap some DNA from each other in prophase 1. Now, as we enter prophase 2, the chromosomes again become visible, but you can see that they did not copy. The centrioles start to head to opposite ends of the cell and create their spindle fibers. Notice that the individual chromatids are still attached. At the end of prophase 2, the nuclear membrane dissolves. Now, the chromosomes can move around again, and they are directed to the middle of the cell by the spindle fibers. This is the beginning of metaphase 2. As anaphase 2 begins, notice how the individual chromatids are pulled apart at the centromere, which is represented by locking arms.
I'm telling you, we are never, ever, ever getting back together. We are never, ever, ever getting back together.
These chromatids were once identical, but then they weren't anymore because once they swapped DNA with homologous pair that is now on the other side of the cell. The individual chromatids move to opposite ends of the cell. In telophase 2, the cell membrane pinches each of the 2 parent cell membranes, thus forming 4 new cells. The centrioles and spindle fibers disappear. the nuclear membrane forms around each of the 4 sets of chromosomes. As the new 4 cells enter cytokinesis, their DNA becomes invisible again. As a final result, we have 4 new sex cells, which would be either sperm or egg, depending on the sex of the parent cell. Also, notice how each of the 4 cells has half the number of chromosomes as the original parent cell had before it replicated in interphase 1. Each of these new cells are called gametes, and when combined with other gametes of the opposite sex, can create a new parent cell, called a zygote, that is a full 46 chromosome once again. Wow, that was fun! Give those actors and actresses a round of applause.
So you two are sister chromatids?
Yeah,
Right.
we're like best friends. We're like
Yeah.
best friends. We're like,
Yeah.
but we're really.
So that must have been hard in anaphase too for you. Talk about
It was
that.
so hard. I didn't know it was coming like that, and all of a sudden I just split it apart, and she'll always be in my heart.
So, but you're, yeah. I can't even speak right now. So you guys are homologous pairs, right? We got the paternal and the maternal, but you guys are the same chromosome, but that breakup looked really hard. Did we talk about it for a minute?
Your fault. It's yours. It's all your fault. It's all your fault.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay, well, we'll be right back after these messages. Okay. Hey, so Gabe, as a centriole, it just seems like you give so much all the time of yourself. What must that be like? Always the same centriole. It's just.
It's not fun since the chromosomes are always mad at me for doing my job.
Well, why are you guys so mad?
Because we know in the next phase we're gonna be broken up.
And you guys are brothers, right?
We've been brothers like forever.
So that's not cool, centriole.
It's just my job.
Hey, Isla and Rihanna. So you guys are the cytokinesis.
Cytokinesis.
What?
Cytokinesis.
So that's like when the membrane pinches and stuff?
Yeah.
So you guys were doing that really fast out there. Like you had to like go and break the membrane and then tie it really fast. And so I was just curious if we could see like up close how fast that happens. All right. Okay, so you tear it. Oh my gosh.
I'm done.
Whoa, so you were done. Wait a minute, you guys were done at the same time. You only have one arm. How did you do that?
It's a secret.
Oh my gosh.
I don't take a Pluto lightly. Folks just tell us 'cause they can't outbite me. That style, wicked, wow. Poppy face, never seen me smile. With that mean frame, I'll explain. Like me is going insane. Insane in the membrane.
And that's all, folks.